everybody, and welcome. And here we have our TheKabooblesProject casting a game of Total War Warhammer 3. I have no idea what I'm doing. I play this game, but I really don't know anything about it. But we're just here to have some fun and watch the vampire counts being played by OutOfShadow going up against the legendary true Bretonnian, playing as, you guessed it, Bretonia, headed up by our Fey Enchantress here, flying around. Is she riding her steed? She is riding her steed at the back of this pack of what looks to be a huge amount of like men-at-arms, of course, and the legendary companions of Gwenels, the questing knights coming around on their kind of flank here, looking to take one of these points. They've got already some peasant mobs and beast slayers hiding in the trees, looking to get onto point 3 already. Nice, the Bretonnians just looking to mob this central point and point 3, leaving point 1 in the hands of our vampire coast, meaning with a single pack of zombies going to take that point. Not a bad idea, I think, in domination to have the to focus on 2 points and leave the third. Completely legitimate. Got a standard vampire Lord Wizard. Got himself Invocation of Nehek, Pestilent Breath, of course, from the dragon. It's going to be interesting to see this. I want to see this dragon get a breath weapon off today. I want him to get in there and just tear up some poor Bretonnian men-at-arms, because they're just going to burn underneath. So we have the Tithe, our Regiment of Renown, the Tithe at the front, as well as some standard zombies holding the front line. They're going to go right up against the men-at-arms of the Bretonnian. Just the Bretonnian peasant mob are going to get mobbed by skeletons, zombies. We've got some cool crypt horrors in here. They're going to have fun tearing up some Bretonnians. And finally, we have a necromancer at the back. Another pair of necromantic wizards at the back. We're going to have a lot of spellcasting today. Let's hope the winds of magic hold up, eh? Excuse me. Anyway, Bretonnian knights doing really well. So Bretonnian peasants holding the front line. We're about to see these two armies clash for realsies here. Let's just watch this go off. Skeletons heading up the front line, a boatload of zombies, the undead, and the poor peasant mob just gonna get destroyed by these undead. I don't know who's going to hold this point. There's a lot of undead forces on this point. Once the crypt horrors get into combat, these peasants are going to just crumple beneath them. I'm not entirely sure this is going to go all that well for the peasants of Bretonia. These guys obviously have polearms, so I think they're going to have to charge against large foes, and they're going to be anti-large. But the mob is going to just completely collapse in on these guys. They are going to ultimately, I think, panic and flee if the Fey Enchantress can't keep her people in line. Got a Grail Reliquary here. I don't even know what that is. Support inventory with some magic and support. So yeah, otherwise on the macro we have some, got quite a lot of Bretonia just sort of standing, holding the point up here, and we've got a Bretonian group managing to hold the point down here as well. Although I don't know that they're their capture weight is ultimately going to take that out of the hands of the undead. That's pretty good. Looks like Bretonia are going to hold both flanks, even if the undead manage to completely mob the middle, which is looking very much like it's going to do. The middle is going to collapse in a crumbling heap. I think the Bretonians are not going to be able to hold their own. Got a nice little group of peasant bowmen at the back getting completely destroyed by a group of Hellbats. And Knights of the Realm now. Knights of the Realm, I'm surprised they couldn't get in via like the outside here. There's some good places for them to get in. I think they could have found their way in through the flanks into the back of the zombies. That's probably where I would have gone. But it's okay. Knights of the Realm getting in there, keeping the the peasant bowmen are going to collapse, and the vampires are just completely crushing our opponent, just collapsing in on some peasants. Oh my goodness, what was that enormous explosion? I have absolutely no idea what that was. It just completely destroyed a whole host of zombies. But that's what happens when you're a zombie up against the Fey Enchantress, I guess. She summons the holy... Oh my goodness, the questing knights. The questing knights managed to get into the flank. Oh, they want to just gather their forces, muster, and start the charge. And here they go. The dragon gets into the air to get out of the way, and they just charge into the back of these zombies. Oh, dead zombies now. Questing knights probably one of these cycle charging in and out a little bit, but they are going to be collapsed in on by by the Vampire Lord. I'm not sure the Vampire Lord really wants to be in there. These guys are anti-large and probably sort of just destroy that Vampire Lord given a bit of a chance. Yeah, looks like the Bretonnia, looks like the true Bretonnian is holding point 3 pretty nicely, has managed to take point 1, as you might have expected there, and point 2, unbelievably, the Bretonnians are holding just about. So you've got the dreaded triple cap from the true Bretonnian here, holding all 3 points beautifully. I don't know how he's managed it, just some kind of legend. I really expected these vampires to just, the zombies, the zombie kind of horde to just kind of completely suppress and destroy the Bretonnians here, but they seem to be holding. The Fey Enchantress doing really good, holding the back line, getting a bit whomped by these crypt horrors. I mean, I think this is what will change the game. If the Fey Enchantress goes down here, then what she's doing in terms of sustaining the sort of psychology of her units here, ultimately that will all go terribly wrong as she falls. But she's holding pretty nicely. Another group of questing knights coming in here, Knights of the Realm, rather. Shock cavalry just trying to protect their lord, and another group of questing knights. The Cornell's just coming in from the back. More zombies coming in, skeleton spearmen, in fact, just coming in from the back lines, trying to just mob that middle point. I'm not sure that OutOfShadow is going to win this. OutOfShadow has managed to take the middle point, like just sheer weight of capture. But I don't know that our friend the true Bretonnian here needs this middle point anymore. They triple cap for as long as they needed to. And as long as they hold point 1 and point 3, which I think they can do, then they're going to be fine. Although, having said that, it definitely looks like the undead are managing to. Breath weapon comes in. Oh, it destroys the Beast Slayers of Baston, who have now turned and fled, fleeing the possibility of being melted by necrotic breath. And now we have just, oh goodness, zombies and skeletons mincing through the Beast Slayers of Baston. No, shout the Beast Slayers as they start to get munched. They're holding. They're the Beast Slayers of Baston. They're no strangers taking on beasts, but they will ultimately fall, particularly if the Vampire Lord sticks around for too long. So yeah, it looks like our sort of the undead horde are just about holding. They're going to be holding that middle point pretty solidly. Although, what's happening here? Wait, Bretonnia is taking it back. Bretonnia has taken back the middle point. The true Bretonnian somehow holding this front line. The Fey Enchantress just doing her job, keeping her troops alive, and the shock cavalry rotating in and out, just mincing through these undead horde. They haven't been reinforced in a little while. More reinforcements coming out with the Grave Guard and the zombies. Grave Guard are a pretty good idea here. I don't know if we might need some anti-cavalry units, some more spears to just take down these questing knights. They're just doing a terribly good job of just messing things up. Knight Errant, they're pretty much messed up though, aren't they? There's not many of them left, but here's another group here, just rotating in and out, crushing through the enemy. Oh, it's the same group, just broken up a little bit. Here's the second group, the Knights of the Realm in the back. So they're just rotating in and out, just shock charging through this zombie mulching mess of undead folk. And that is allowing them to hold this point. If we take a look at the kind of the trade values here, we can see OutOfShadow's doing all right, actually, holding their own, but that really belies the true nature of this game, which is the Bretonnians have just held all 3 points for so long. That they're doing really, really well. I don't know if they've done enough though. If the undead hordes start to smother the middle ground, I think Bretonnia might be in trouble. It's still possible for Bretonnia to lose this, but it is looking ever so likely that Bretonnia are going to hold. I mean, 1,300 points left for an allied victory. That's for a victory for the undead, and only what, like 600? So that's 6, 12, 13, yeah. So basically the math works out that all Bretonnia need to do is hold point 1. Now, they could just Helm's Deep it, as Turin says, just send all of these units and bring them in to hold that point. That's all they need to do, is to hold this point. And they could easily do so, just flanking all of these units around here. Yeah, look at this, like Knights of the Realm, falling back, completely reasonable. Just hold point 1. I think that'd be reasonable. But wait, But wait, shock change again. It looks like the undead have been routed off of point 3. No, the true Bretonnian holding it. Really beautiful move from the true Bretonnian, just bringing in these amazing, like classically Bretonnian shock cavalry, the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, just crushing through these poor Graveguard. Graveguard great weapons are not anti-large. They will fall horribly to the cycle charging of these knights. Looking for another target now. The knights kind of cycling around. Looks like they might come into the side of that Graveguard, and that will be the end of them. Another group of knights errant here. Are they going to just completely flank on top of these Graveguard? Or are they going to head to the mid to see if they can hold the mid? There's no need to do that. Abandon ship. Yeah, this is it. Abandon hope, all who enter here. This is the territory of the undead, the domain of the doomed. They are holding the central ground. Leave them to it, says True Bretonnian. We will take 1 and 3. And the True Bretonnian doing beautifully. The Skeleton Spearmen are going to try and take this point, but they will not be able to stand against the Knight Cavalry. They will be pretty good against the Cav, but there's just so much Cav that I don't know that they're going to be able to hold out. Zombies in the back are going to get like charged by these cavalry here. Let's take out this charge as they mince through zombie flesh, just completely crushing through the zombies. They will not survive long in that encounter, but it does allow the Skeleton Spearmen to get in. But Knights of the Realm, a couple of groups of Knights of the Realm, Crypt Horrors. It's possible maybe that Out of Shadow can take this point back. The capture weight's going to be potentially in their favor. I don't know how many. I don't know. I think there's just one too many with the Fey Enchantress here holding their own. I don't know that they can take this point. And point 3 is firmly in the hands of the true Bretonnian. I think this might be it, everyone. I think this might be it, dear watchers. I don't know how the Out of Shadow is going to be able to master this game, how they're going to be able to take this back. They need to triple cap to win, and I don't know how they do it. Abandon this middle point is the only thing that they can do. Just completely send half your units north, half your units south, and hope for the best, because I don't think there's any way. I mean, this third point here is takeable. I think gets a couple of units in there. Anti-large in particular might be able to take it, and then get your infantry and just flood over here. Take out the Fey Enchantress as best you can. The Enchantress is so strong at this point, just sitting here beautifully, just sending like a flaming skull almost for a second. I don't know what that was. Just sending it. I don't even know if that was the Fey Enchantress. Is the Enchantress going to be in trouble here? Probably not. Vampire Lord diving in on this huge undead dragon. Probably not going to win this fight, I think. Just way too many anti-large here to stand up against it. The Vampire Lord losing out, dying almost certainly once again, I assume. Not going to be able to survive that battle, I think. Point 3 still firmly in the hands of the Bretonnian, even with this little group of Skeleton Spearmen trying to hold. Even with these zombies, I don't think it's enough. This is, obviously this has been a good move from Out of Shadow, bringing everything up to just hold this point as best they can. Beautiful move. I really like it. And then try and just flood everything else to point 1. But there's just too much Bretonnian might holding this point. The dragon desperately trying to hold against the anti-large, and the charging of these knights. Are they not anti-large? They're anti-infantry. Shock cavalry still, though, so they'll still be able to hold their own against the vampire wizard. Even though they've got a dragon. Dragon pretty strong, 520 weapon strength, but I don't think it's going to be able to hold against these knights cycling in and out and just mounting the charge. Fey Enchantress happily holding this point. More of these young troops, foot squires coming in. The Graveguard with great weapons, desperately trying to dive on this point, seeing if they can hold it. Oh, but the Knights Errant flank charge these guys as they come in, and the great weapons are no more. They're not going to be able to stand for any time in that combat. And with that, we say GG. Out of Shadow doing a very good job holding the middle ground, but ultimately the true Bretonnian just outflanking him and being able to win the day. GG, well played. Looks forward to seeing you in the next one.